Hey guys, and welcome back to Diablo 3. We're still in the Weeping Hollow. My recording software overlay is just up there, so I can't read too well what it actually is saying. But it should be the Weeping Hollow. I can make out that much. You don't see the overlay, so it doesn't matter to you anyway. And it's still time. We'll still have to fight our way through this area. We fought a fair number of special mobs last time. So we fought a boss and a champion group. Again, I would like to stick with a fixed terminology for these, but I just...
The spirits aid me.
I never managed that, so... For example, here we had a kind of a boss. As you see, a grotesque. But the advantage is when they die, they explode.
This apprentice's spirit dwells within the unformed land now.
The
demons should be told.
You've seen that when they die, they basically explode, and we get these snake things coming out of them. The explosion actually damages enemies as well. It damages me, I think, but it definitely also damages enemies. Okay, that's useless. Like the item. So what we saw in this case was I killed a few of them, I think 2, and the explosions of those killed the rest. And again, there is an achievement for killing a certain number of mobs with a single explosion. I have not gotten that yet, but I doubt I will, because I'm not gunning for achievements at the moment. So, sometimes hunting for achievements is quite fun, because they give you an interesting thing to do in a boss fight, in an area, in a game. So nothing against it. But sometimes it feels like achievements also take away a little from the game, because it seems like the game is telling you what you can do in there, and a lot of people sometimes feel like there's no point in doing something if there's no achievement for it. So in that sense, achievements sometimes have a negative impact, to my mind, on how a game is played. Like, I've seen that once on a speedrun of, I believe, either Dark Souls or Demon Souls, I don't know. And it wasn't a very quick speedrun, so nowhere near like a world record or anything. I think he took about something over 2 hours for Demon Souls or Dark Souls. I don't remember which one. I think it was Demon Souls. But one of the top comments, which actually had a lot of thumbs up, was, "So what achievement did you get for this?" And that reflects I don't know, the negative aspect of achievements, to my mind. They can add a lot to the game, so in a way they give you like new incentives, cool stuff to try, maybe, I don't know, fighting a boss in an unconventional way, to be able to evade his poison attack or whatever. So that's good fun. But it's not the only thing you can do in a game that's like challenging. If you like, challenge yourself to do things. Now, in a very minor way, it's kind of what I'm doing with this playthrough, where I'm using the skills I get as I level up to kind of mix things up a little bit. Open. Thank you. And we found a checkpoint, which is nice. I will first try and find anything here. That path is still blocked. But yeah, you could argue that in a way what I'm doing here is playing a bit of a challenge. Okay, so this boss has knockback. Now the blue aura enemies, the elite mobs, all of them will have the same set of skills. So on this difficulty, two-handed, so it's pointless. On this difficulty they will always have one skill, so Nightmarish, Knockback, and you will see some more.
When King Leoric came to court, he brought many nobles with him, and nobles, oddly enough, want noble crips. So I showed up with my shovel, thinking to make easy profit by digging a few holes. Ha! There's no stopping their demands around here. Now, I eat, sleep, and breathe dirt, it seems.
So yeah, and with the boss, it's like with the boss groups, it's slightly different, where there's a chance that like the boss will have certain properties. On normal mode, he will have exactly one property, for example, knockback, as you saw earlier, but his minions do not always have the exact same. Well, they might have a selection of those. So I believe on normal mode it can happen that the minions will not actually have any abilities. But on higher difficulties, for example, let's take Hell difficulty, any boss will have 3 attributes. Let's say they've got Knockback, Mortar, and Jailer, just to name 3. It might be his minions will not have the Jailer ability, they will only have Mortar and Knockback, for example. The minions will, between them, all have the same skills, but they might not have all of the ones the boss had, basically. And in this area here, there's 3 entrances you saw above. Only one of them is the quote-unquote correct one, so the one that leads me to the crypt of the Chancellor. And the other 2 are basically dead ends, but I don't know which is which. There's no way of telling, apart from going in and finding out. And there's some new lore.
The tragedies in these lands have left many restless spirits in their wake, and they demand retribution. These spirits will take out their vengeance on any unsuspecting individual who may pass, for they believe that the blood of the living will yet restore the lives that were ripped away from them.
I can tell the poison damage on my darts might be a little confusing later on when enemies are poisonous as well. Okay. I just want some peace and quiet to do my level up. Okay, I think I have it now. I will not need this. And now skills. So I now have to change my bats back to Grasp of the Dead with the Unbreakable Grasp rune, which increases the slowing effect. I'll try to remember that I have the skill. Okay, a Fortune Shrine. That basically temporarily gives me... These shrines temporarily give bonuses. That's very common in action role-playing games. All across the board, these shrines... you see them in a lot of these games. And this one is no exception. We have teleporting ghostly murderers there, which do not seem to be using their teleporting ability terribly much. No, they did. Teleporting is obviously kind of an ability which allows them to get around certain crowd control effects. They do not seem to be very courageous ghosts. So, for example, a teleporter could get out of my grasping
Need
dead
more time.
thing. Grasp of the dead thing, rather. Enabling them to bypass the slowing effect. Okay, so this is a teleporter minion with... or these are teleporter minions with a teleporter boss. Let's see, the buckler... Oh. That increases my protection by a lot, so I'm actually using that. The boots, on the other hand, are a bit pointless.
Needs more time.
So I will not bother with them. Oh, okay. The advantage of the 3 poison arrows is if I open a container and an enemy comes out, the other 2 arrows will still hit the guy. Or the skeleton, if that can be called a guy. I don't know. The healing wells, by the way, I haven't spoken about those yet. You basically click on them and they heal you fully, but then they're empty. The ones you meet in boss encounters do refill automatically. I'm not sure if the ones you find around the map do regenerate. Okay, so this is the right crypt. Lucky in a way, because there's only a 1 in 3 chance, obviously, but unlucky for me and in a way for you, because since I'm doing full exploration, I will have to do the other 2 crypts as well. Or rather, I want to. The advantage of doing full exploration is obviously that I will be getting more items and more experience than if I were to run through, which makes it just a little bit easier. On normal difficulty, the game is not very challenging, to be honest, but some of the fights can actually be difficult, and I am almost certain I will die a few times. So every little bit helps, I guess. Which obviously means I know that this is now not going to be the right crypt. You could break all these vases, but I think there was some patch where they removed the possibility of good items coming from them. Mostly because I believe people were creating bots which would farm these. So breakable items, I think you can get gold from them sometimes, but that's about it. Like the drops from them were severely nerfed because people were building bots for them. And another boss who has knockback. Bloatgut the Reckoner. These names are randomly generated, as are the dungeons we're in right now.
Demons have been known to devour their own young when no other nourishment is available. Their offspring, the imps, sometimes manage to flee and band together with other demon spawn. They rove in vicious packs, ready to descend upon the unwary traveler and rip his body to shreds with their tiny needle-sharp teeth.
Well, hey, we just got a ceremonial knife, which is a special weapon, only the witch doctor can use it, and it increases my mana regeneration. Well, not all of them do, but this one does. kind of sad that the zombie dogs are not that strong. But it's okay. Few dead ends. So they only deal 1 or 2 damage per attack, which is not that much. But I guess they are nice for blocking damage. Make me a little more tanky. And at the end of these dungeons,
will not be found in this crypt, I think.
like at the end of the wrong ones, you will always find a teleporting stone which takes you back to the overworld. But since I haven't finished exploring this bit yet, and it's not always easy to tell where the exit is going to be, so and now I can go back. You see I've explored fully now. And currently my frame rate is holding very steady, but the more overworldy and the more actiony the fights get, the lower it drops. So I have had it drop down to 20, 22. If this is too low for you, please tell me. You will obviously only have 720p then, but I can guarantee that it will not drop below 30 frames. One advantage I will be taking the liberty of abusing, basically, is that I have, because I've played high-level characters, I do have fairly good socketing gems, and I will be using those. So if I find a socketed item, I am not above putting like a fairly advanced socket into my items, which will give me a severe advantage. Well, not severe, but it'll increase my damage to points that are not usual for the level, I guess. I will only be using the perfect square level of gem. If you don't know what that means, it doesn't really matter. It basically means I will only be using the highest level of gem that can be found in the game as a normal drop. Okay, more knockback minions. It's quite common, apparently. And it may sound odd that I'm saying I'm only using the strongest ones that can be found in the game. I think there's 5 or 6 levels of gem which are better, but which cannot be found in the game. They can only be created, so you can combine gems to make better ones, basically. And that's the only way to get the highest 3, 4, 5, fair few tiers of gem. So it might be even more, I don't remember, it might be 6 or 7. And I will not be using those. I will only be using like stuff I could actually find. Combining gems is fairly costly, and there doesn't seem to be much point doing it for a low-level character. Even though you can get rid of gems, like you can unsocket, basically. Okay, here we have a cool event that I will be showing you in a bit. But first, some skeletons. I want to explore this bit first, basically. Don't know where those guys were hiding, but I must have missed them earlier. So the event you're about to see is an actual event, so The game counts it as an event, basically. And it's quite cool, so... These events are random, because, as I said, we're currently in a randomly generated map. It's not the rarest of events. I can't remember the last time I played through this area without seeing the event, actually. But it's still quite cool, so... something to enjoy. Let's just see if there's anything down here, because I don't think there is. Yeah. By anything I mean there's like no way, no path. It's just a dead end with a few items in it. There we go. And I think this should just take me back to the event room. And as you have seen repeatedly already in this game, just in case you weren't aware, doing certain things will give you bonus experience. So for example, killing monsters with a single blow, killing a lot of monsters in a single combat, destroying a lot of items, that will give you bonus experience. But first, let's touch the Jar of Souls.
Spirits are bound within this trap. I spring it gladly.
So now I have to survive the skeletons which are raised by the Jar of Souls. There will be more spawning, obviously.
Most of these tortured spirits are free. I am nearly done.
And yes, I am remembering now that I have my grasping hand thing. Grasp of the Dead.
Opens before you. Needs more time.
Okay, so I've gotten a new active skill. And I think my zombie dogs are dying.
You die!
Nope, they're all still alive, okay. Okay, I think that's the end of that. I will collect the loot now. Break the Jar of Souls for my event items. And now skills. Now I'm losing my zombie dogs. Sniff, sniff. Horrify. Don a spectral mask that horrifies all enemies within 12 yards, causing them to run in fear for 4 seconds. There go my dogs. Oh well. Okay, so that's a one-off. With a fairly high recharge. Oh, a teleporter. I wonder if you can fear skeletons. Not as in be afraid of them, but as in make them afraid. That would be kind of fun. Because usually, at least in many RPGs I know, skeletons are immune against that kind of stuff. After all, it's just an animated pile of bones. You would expect it not to be afraid of anything. Including, but not limited to, death. Okay, and these imps just run away. I kind of want to finish this level before I head on, So I think I should be able to squeeze that into this episode. I'm going for roughly 20-minute episodes, but as you can see, to me that means after about 20 minutes I'm looking for the next good breakpoint to end the episode, so it doesn't mean after 20 minutes I instantly cut at the first possible opportunity. I'm trying to find, like, good spots to do it. Okay, now. Okay, you can fear skeletons. Fair enough. And by the looks of it, this is the way to the exit.
The
Yep.
crown is not here. I will seek it in another crypt.
The princess is in another castle. So we know which one is the right one now. We just have to go there. But we will do that next time, so I'll be seeing you then. Bye bye.